We're here with Mohit Rao. And Mohit, you're a bit of a legend on LinkedIn and other platforms. Lots of storytelling. You love books. You've got that story of coming to Australia. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thank you for having me, number one. So I have a bachelor's in computer engineering. I worked for some time in India, and the bachelor's in computer engineering was, I think, so more on the lines of herd mentality, where I was just following what everyone else was doing. And it was also, I think, so driven by fear that if I don't become an engineer, then like
what else you're gonna do?
Yeah, what else am I going to do? Like that's life.
This could be a common Indian story, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
It does take a turn, don't worry. So after working for 3 years, I actually did see a few people where through their lifestyle, I actually saw my future, that if I continue doing this, that is how I will be living my life. But then I went back to what made me happy, like what am I passionate about, what really excites me in life. And I think so that's sport. And from a very young age, like I've been playing sport since the age of 3 or 4, ever since I can remember. My parents are both professional basketball players, and so it did not take a lot of convincing on my side to tell them that, okay, I followed the herd. I did this in school, I did this in college, and I went to university and did engineering. I worked for 3 years, and now I'm at the end of the line. Like I've done everything that society probably expects me to do, but I'm still not happy. And then I did some research on universities, and I didn't want to do sports management in India. I wanted to do somewhere outside of India. And I think so Melbourne is like the sport capital, the hub of sports in the world. And I was across most of the sports that are played over here by people, and hence I made the decision to come to Melbourne.
Do you think that interest in sport like fueled your drive? Like I've seen you on LinkedIn and we have met before. That drive that you have for self-improvement and your career, is that all start with the sport, do you think?
It does. I think so. The most life lessons that I've ever learned is through playing sport, especially about teamwork, because I think so I've seen that, especially through reading books, I've learned that when a team wins, we say that we won. And when we lose, we say because of them we lost, or they lost. And even when we support a team, right, we say that today our team won, but when they lose, we say that they lost. Like we don't want to be a part of something that is losing, but then when you're playing sport, you understand that losing is also a big aspect of learning. And I think so another thing, I think so the biggest lesson that I learned through sport was practice. Like consistent action done over a period of time magically just compounds, and you will not even know that it's compounding. It's actually other people tell you, and then you realize that, oh, like it's been compounding. And that's what happened with me playing any sport, that for the first 2-3 years I wouldn't be doing that great. But then and also my parents being sports people, my mom would always tell me that it took me like almost a decade to play for the state of Maharashtra, and then here you are complaining after 2 or 3 years. So that would put it in perspective. And then any skill that I'm trying to learn, I am able to tell myself that I will give myself 3 to 5 years. It's because of sport. Like any sport, like even when I played basketball, I played soccer, I played cricket, but I know that I'm good at these sports because I played these sports at least for 5 years with probably consistent practice. And my basketball career was without a coach. Cricket was without a coach, but then soccer was with a coach. And I could also see the difference of having a coach in your life. And hence I understand the importance of asking advice from the right people.
Yeah, it translates well, doesn't it, to business and just to life in general. And I think that's an advantage Australians have got, because we're so strong with sport. Like we're all growing up playing for sport, whether it's AFL or cricket or netball, lots of sports to choose from. And tell me what you think, but my belief is that when you're practicing, right, you've got to practice the right things, and quite often it's the basic moves, right, that are the most important. Like you've got to nail the basic moves rather than let's say the fancy moves. Bit like business as well, a grounding in finance and sales and operations, understanding how a business works really helps. But what do you think?
Absolutely. I think that anything that helps you engage your like main senses, like seeing, listening, speaking, like writing. And hence I feel that the basics for me is probably reading something every day that's going to help me build my knowledge, then listening to something that will help me become like a better person, and also associate with people who I know that are going somewhere in life, because you are in the end you are going to be as big as your ecosystem, the people that you surround with, because environment in the end dictates performance. So I think so these are the basics for me. And I know that like even with this opportunity, I know that you two are doing so much for people, especially in the supply chain sector. And I think so that is immaterial. It is just the thought, the intention, and the action that you take towards people that automatically attracts other people to you, irrespective of the field that you are in or the sector that you're in. Like I can learn from a Virat Kohli, but I can also learn from a Bill Gates, like, or I can also learn from a Steve Jobs. The industry doesn't matter; it's the mindset that's very important.
And that's actually the reason I thought it's really good to have you here. Is about supply chain is a lot about discipline. And I know you touched on discipline before. Tell me something that, like, I've managed to start reading books during COVID. Before that, I hate reading. I didn't even do engineering, even though there was a lot of pressure from the society because I come from India too. I said, nah, that's not for me. I said, I'll do a bachelor's degree. The most shortest degree was hospitality management. I used to enjoy cooking anyway. I still do. So I ended up doing hospitality management, which I'm very happy about anyway. So tell me something, or tell something to the audience who doesn't read, who doesn't believe there is a lot of magic that happens. But I've seen the difference over the last 5-6 years, but I would admit that I'm a little bit lazy with reading. So I do read, but again, a lot of things get in the way. So what would you say to someone who are thinking about reading books, but they haven't taken the action, but then they're also in a mindset thinking, what is it really going to do to me? But I know it actually adds a lot of value. But given you're so consistent and disciplined with your reading books, close to 140 books now, give your thoughts about that.
Oh, I can talk about this for 5 hours straight and not stop.
We're going to have to limit him here. You got 10 minutes.
Like, similarly to you, I started reading during COVID because I was like, I have done everything in life, like exercised, like I was meditating. I was probably also hanging out with the right people, like doing whatever I could, but still I saw myself unemployed during COVID. So I understood that the decision that I made probably a couple of years ago, where I decided that I am going to do sports management because I'm passionate. So probably that is not the right answer. Like, I think so passion makes you just do the comfortable things in life, but what you actually need is a big dream that you find purposeful, and you're ready to do the small, meaningful things that eventually take you to that dream or goal in life. And I think so for me, I was pretty fortunate that the book that I picked up during COVID proved to be like a catalyst to my reading journey. And I was actually, at that time, I didn't know that I was searching for something that would help me with purpose, with meaning, etc. in life, like having big goals in life. And the books that I picked up, like Start With Why by Simon Sinek, then Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Well, you were just talking really about your why, right? I mean, I was thinking that it's like, well, that's Simon Sinek's why. You know, was that the first book?
That was my first book. Yeah, Start With Why.
Really?
Yes. That was the first book that I read, and I couldn't even read like 2 pages in a day. Like I found it so difficult. And to answer your question, I think so a very basic but a basic misconception that people have is that number of pages translates to the information that you get from a book. But I tell people that go for a time goal rather than a page goal, because every book, the difficulty level of every book is going to be like different. Like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius or How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie is going to be very different. Like you might be able to read 20 pages of How to Win Friends and Influence People, but 20 pages of Meditations by Marcus Aurelius in one day is impossible. Like it would take you 20 days to read 20 pages because there's so much of depth and information in that book, and you have to reflect. Like if you don't reflect,
Yep.
so I would just read a sentence and then reflect for like half an hour because that was so deep, whatever was written.
You do have to go deep in a book rather
Yes.
than pages, rather than getting through them.
Correct.
And I know for me, it is reading books, and the sole purpose for me reading a book is to put in, because I read on Kindle, so I have a folder that's the reread section, right? So I'm just reading books and finding the ones that are going to go in the reread folder, because they're the gold ones, right? And I'm going to reread those because I found them very valuable and they really spoke to me. That's generally what I do, but I agree. There's some books you might just get through a couple of pages and but you're taking it in so deeply and thinking about how that applies to your life, how that's going to change your life. That's where the magic happens.
And I think so if you read a book once, you're not the same person again. So you can read the same book 10 different times,
Yep.
10 times, and you would be like a different person every time you read the book.
Yep. So what do you say then? One thing to people who are thinking about reading books, or they're on a journey but not able to get there. What impact do they have?
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say don't go for the bestsellers, because the
Okay.
bestsellers are not written for you. It's just a very generic, common bestseller list.
Yeah.
And the number of copies or the number of books sold is also not a great indicator to read the book. So I think so the book that has been gifted to people the most and lies collecting dust is Atomic Habits. Like I think so
Yeah.
everyone buys it but never ends up reading it.
Yeah.
It's because, so this is something I tell people, is that
That's very controversial, mate. That's a very popular book.
it's a very popular book. Yes, I do agree, but then it's also the most unread book, I feel, by people. Like they have it, but they would have not read it.
Yeah.
And it's just basically through the conversations that I've had with people that Atomic Habits has been mentioned so many times. And I think so that book is similar to Think and Grow Rich. It's going to last for like 100 or 200 years and people will still read it. And that means that you have to probably read that book almost once every year to actually take everything from the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some are just meant to be reread, aren't
Yes.
they? Yeah.
And don't go for the bestsellers. Instead, probably sit down with a piece of paper and pen and probably just go to a place that gives you, where you feel like you're happy in your own self, where you can just think and write things.
Yeah.
Probably a beach, mountain, at home, wherever you want to in this workspace. And probably just write down 2 or 3 things that you actually want to work on. It can be anything. It can be procrastination, time management, it can be wealth management, it can be nutrition, health, lifestyle, whatever. And then search for books in those areas, because those are the books that you actually require or you want, and once you read any book in that area, you will try to take as much as you can. And if you're not able to probably understand what's written in a book, try to find the author's content through some other medium. Like try to listen to a podcast that they have, try to listen to a YouTube video that they have. So the first time I read this book called 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson,
Oh yeah.
I couldn't understand anything that's written in the book, but
I'm halfway through. That's been one of my stalled books because it's very, very. I can only get through. Like I can't get through a chapter in one hit because it's just so deep and so hard to understand in a lot of ways.
yes.
Yeah.
And I think
it's
so
like
that's
dense. I think that's the word I'm looking for. It's like just so
very
dense.
dense.
It's just like packed full.
And you exactly described the author. If you go and read on Jordan Peterson, that is exactly who he is. Like, so he has such a good command on the English language, on vocabulary, and highly intellectual person that talks about data.
Yep.
And very like a very authoritative figure.
Yep.
And hence his book is also written in that way.
Yep.
So
Very strong opinions.
very
too.
strong opinions, because he's backed by data, right? He's a researcher himself.
Yep.
And anything that he researches on, he just says that, like, you're wrong, I have the data on this, and you're wrong. This is how it is, actually is.
It's very persuasive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So find a happy place. Don't just find your comfort book. Doesn't matter if it's the best-selling or whatever, and then just trying to get some meaning out of it.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's more about the habit than actually reading the book.
Yeah.
I tell people that you will know once you've developed a reading habit when it becomes like brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
Like you don't get up and consciously think that today I'll be brushing my teeth.
So you have read Atomic Habits, Mahit.
I have. I have read
Because
Atomic
that's
Habits.
you're talking about habits now.
Yes. So I have read the book, and that's how, through the book, I've actually learned that if you're starting any habit, make it easy and make it comfortable for yourself to have access to those things. Like if you want to start going to the gym, make sure that you have your gym clothes next to your bed, especially when it's July in Melbourne.
Yeah.
You're just describing Atomic Habits, Mahit. Habit stacking. Well, that's great. Yeah, it's about getting it in a habit. Yeah. Tell us what your morning routine looks like.
It was pretty different when I was in Adelaide, and it's very different now that I'm in Melbourne. So in Adelaide, I would usually get up around like 5:15, 5:30, and straight I would make my cup of coffee, have some water, and then sit down to read for 30 to 45 minutes. And then I would quickly head to the gym, and then I would come back from the gym and try to either repurpose a LinkedIn post or write a LinkedIn post. And I do not listen to music at the gym because I feel that that's where ideas come to me from. If there is an inspiration god, that is when the inspiration god sends me their ideas, and then I get to like think in that moment, and I just quickly take some notes like on my phone. And then I just come back home, get ready for work, and then leave for work. So I
think that idea god is from a book too, isn't it?
I think so. It's a combination of books, I would say.
Yeah,
There's a book called
I read a book about
Big
that.
Magic.
Yes, that was
Elizabeth Gilbert.
Yes.
I love her writing because it's very authentic, it's very blunt, and it's like, if you want to read my book, read it. If you don't want to read it, don't read it. So yeah, I just like when people write it that way.
And the amazing concept, what I got out of that book, I don't know if I told you, Rakesh, but it's this idea that there's an idea waiting to be born, right? And it's like this, the universe has put it there.
Correct.
And it might go to you. And you get this idea, this inspiration, maybe in the shower, and it's like, oh, I should do something about that. But you never do. And eventually the idea just goes because you as the host didn't do anything with it. So it goes over to Mohit here. And Mohit gets the inspiration and he does something and does amazing things in the world. And I'd never heard of that concept before. In fact, I'm not even saying that's how it works, but it's just a lovely way to think about inspiration and encourage you that when you get those inspirations to do something about it. If you think that's for you. Yeah.
I'm actually rereading it right now.
Oh, wow.
While I travel to work,
Wow, that's a coincidence.
Because moving has made me a bit inconsistent with my writing, and I wanted to get back on the writing train, literally on the train. So, so now I read on the train, and I also love to observe what other people are doing. And often, so many times, there would be a person sitting next to me, and I would have been like probably reading for 30 minutes and then listening to a podcast or whatever, and then they would be like scrolling for an hour, like just caught in that scroll, doom scrolling. And so many times I just feel like if you lift your head and look at me, I'll probably teach you how to read.
We have a lot in common. Yeah, I do a very similar thing. So I've just started taking the train into the city when I'm coming here because we've got free public transport, as you know. So I thought, I'll just park at a station and come in. And it's a lesson in humanity travelling on public transport, isn't it? Almost forgotten what it was like. Yeah. So tell me, Mahit, 3 books that changed your life. So you've mentioned a few. I don't know if they're going to make the 3, but 3 books that have changed your life.
Finally, it's time. I think so. The book that I have reread the most, I would put that as number 1. So it's Napoleon Hill's Law of Success, and Law of Success, because it was written before Think and Grow Rich. And next year, that book would complete 100 years.
Oh,
and
wow.
if you go back and if you read that book, you'll understand that his ideas were so out there for 1927, but even today, just the name of the topic is like so valid to people, like self-confidence, definite chief aim, self-talk, auto-suggestion, habit of saving money, not being afraid of failure, like such basic topics, and he'd written about this like 100 years ago. I would say I would put that at number 1 because it's the most reread book by me. I would go Big Magic number 2 because
Really?
Because I read that book once or twice every year, especially where I feel that I am having an emotional response to a negative moment in my life. Like you have a negative moment and you use that moment to say that I'm not going to do the work that needs to be done. Like do the work, do your duty, that sort of a thing. So when I read the book, I understand that writing is more of a habit rather than something that you do when you feel like doing it. Because if you just keep doing things when you feel like doing it, then you will never achieve the things you want in life.
I think I was reading like the good authors, you know, how they go about writing a book. And you know what? They don't just write when they have inspiration and when they feel like it and when the sun is just setting and all the environment is just right. You know what they do? They just get up at 5 a.m. just like any other job and they just sit down and just start writing. You know, it's got to be like a habit that you just do. It's just what you said. Yeah.
Thank you for giving me time to think about the third book.
Yeah.
I think so the book that helped me the most during a very tough time, I would choose that book. I think Meditations by Marcus Aurelius.
Yep.
I read that book took me 60 days to read, like 2 months. It took good 2 months out of my time.
Is it a thick book or?
It's a very small book.
Oh, okay.
But then I think so since it's been translated from ancient Greek to English in the 1950s, it's a bit difficult to read.
Yep.
And there are other translations of the book available. One translation that's much easier than the book that I've read. But then what I did with that book was that I rewrote every line in that book through my own perspective.
Yeah.
Like I would read a line and then I would be like, okay, what does this mean to me? And there were a lot of lines which didn't make sense because he talks about like other characters in his life, which is very difficult to know without context because those are like remains of his journals. But I think so that book had the biggest impact on me, and I learned a very simple lesson that you cannot control what happens to you. You can only control how you respond, because he was... So when you read books on philosophy, especially Stoic philosophy, they say that there has been no king who has been a philosopher, and there has been no philosopher who's ever been a king, except for Marcus Aurelius, who was the only Roman emperor who's also been a philosopher. And you might be knowing the Indian celebrity Shah Rukh Khan. So he says that if you read, there are a lot of philosophers out there, but if you want people to listen to you, you need to become rich. That's when people listen to your philosophy. And I think so that's why when it comes from a Roman emperor who's been the emperor of Rome for 18 years, like I think so people listen because he's not only lost people, he's also killed people, he's also lost children. And then when someone talks about like kindness and love and everything, then you have to listen.
Okay, so the man who read 140 books recommends 3 books. The Law of Success, Big Magic, and Meditation by Marcus Aurelius.
I think the Big Magic is more like a personal thing. Not a lot of people like might relate to that book. And even Law of Success and Meditations are not great books to like start your reading journey with.
But
like
still,
books. But I feel that these books created a huge impact in my life.
Incredible. Maybe we'll go back to a bit of a personal story, which I'm as well. Because I see what the difference it can make once you develop reading or any particular habit with more discipline. And I've seen the difference now. And I'm not a sports person, that wasn't a background. Somehow I got this discipline for a lot of different things, necessity and everything, so that made me more disciplined. But I always feel every migrant can do their own magic in their own ways, but it's just a matter of realizing how much time. So as an example, during my uni and everything, I always look back and it's like, wish I had someone told me about the magic of reading or all these things together. So on that point, what mindset holds migrants back? In a way that, yes, that it's very new, it's already a lot of uncomfortable position you're already here because it does take a lot of energy and everything. So you tend to lose focus at times because there's a lot of unknown stuff happens. But what really holds them back? What do you think?
I think I have given this a fair amount of thought. I feel the 2 things that affects migrants, like based on the people that I've spoken to and my own journey, I think so is like people usually have like a bad self-image, like they're not very happy with the person that they see in the mirror. And number two is self-esteem, which is what do you think of yourself when you are with a group of people? Because what you think of yourself is going to dictate how you present yourself to the group. And I knew that. So once I started reading, I found confidence in myself, but still my self-esteem was not that high.
Yeah.
It just meant that I had not taken action on what I was reading in the books. So like, for example, there are a lot of books that talk about communication. So I use this thing called, from a book called How to Talk to Anyone. So it's called Never the Naked City. So that is a great opener, like while you're at your network, at any networking event, like where you say, where are you from? They say that, like let's say I'm from Adelaide. And then they ask you in return, like, where are you from? So if you say, I am from Mumbai, that's the end of the conversation. Like, you're not giving the other person anything to talk about.
Yeah.
And then you just stand there awkwardly, like,
Yeah.
oh, what should I do? So you say, you never leave the city naked. So you say, I'm from Mumbai, the city that never sleeps. So automatically you create this opening where you can talk to people.
Yeah.
So I feel that as far as migrants are concerned, when if you go to any country,
Yeah.
I think so you are going there with the information that you have right now. So I think so to elevate probably your life and also your level of thinking, you need to either find that information or find someone who already has that information and can point you in the right direction. But I think so only taking action will actually help you.
Yeah.
And now, I think so almost after 5 years of reading and talking to people like yourself, I intentionally try to put myself in uncomfortable situations. And that is where I've seen that real growth happens. Like my stomach would be sometimes churning, my heart would be beating really fast, and my hands would get all clammy. But then still, like, I intentionally go out and search for these situations. But in the past, I think so I would just like, my first networking event, I went to the networking event, I saw that it was like a pub, and then there were so many people inside, I just went back home. I didn't even go inside. But then slowly and steadily, then you have to be kind to yourself also, right? Like even if you enter the pub and you don't talk to a lot of people and you say hi to a couple of people, like give yourself a pat on the back and say that I at least reached step 1 this time. And next time you could talk to 2 people, you're like, okay, now I'm on step 2. And then slowly and steadily you build your image and also your self-esteem.
Yeah.
If that answered your question.
Yeah, no, it does. I can think of a lot of things that kind of went through my journey going to events, and I like the open-ended questions. So usually earlier I used to ask a lot of people, have you been to this event before? It's like, no. All right, topic finished. There's nothing else to talk. Yeah, so now I definitely change. And I actually do go to a lot of non-supply chain events, and I do a lot of other events as well. And when I'm doing a lot of supply chain events or speaking at them, like it feels home. It feels like an extended family because there's a lot of people you know already. It feels very comfortable. With all that energy and confidence, suddenly I walk into a very unknown big conference, which I do time to time. It feels so new, and it's like, oh, this is how it feels to a lot of new people coming to supply chain, because it's become very default for me to go to these events now. It's been 7 or 8 years now. But it's actually an interesting feeling going to I'm actually going to a finance event in a couple of weeks. And again, I know how it's going to feel, but I'm just going to go there anyway because, yeah. So no, it's an interesting exercise. One last question for me before I pass it over to Stephen. Yep. What would you tell yourself if you're coming now to this country? Or it could be a message to a lot of people who are actually, they're already here, they've been here for a couple of months, right? And obviously they sometimes, even including myself, I blamed myself in a lot of things. It's like, oh, nothing's working for me. But I actually really haven't tried a lot of things. And I think it's a definition of insanity. It's like you keep doing the same thing again and again. You expect different results. So back to the question is, what would you tell yourself who just arrived or somebody is already here? What should they do? Yeah.
Think big, start small.
Yeah.
Like, I think so we often think in reverse. Like we start really big and then we think really small. We start by saying that, okay, like I'm going to go find probably an internship for myself, or I'll go find a part-time job somewhere so that I can get a good full-time job.
Yeah.
People define their entire life journey by that elusive full-time job that they're going to get. And then after that, their life just plateaus. I feel that as soon as your life plateaus, you're just going backwards. Like you have to, and that's how it is, right? Like, and coming from India, you would understand, like, okay, go to a good school, go to a good college, go to a good uni.
What's
okay,
next?
yeah, what's next? Now get married, now have children, now buy a house, now buy a car. Okay, I've done all this, and hence, even if you reflect and think about it, the hard work and the effort that people, and the thinking and the level of thinking that people have from the ages of 20 to probably 35, they actually drop that after the age of 35. And because they've already got whatever they've thought about, and now they don't know what to do next, and hence it just plateaus. And once it plateaus, the only way to go in life is backwards. So I think so at any point in life where you feel like your life has plateaued, you ask yourself, what's the next BHAG, big, hairy and audacious goal that you have? So let me chase. And there's a Matthew McConaughey, so when he won his Oscar, he says that my goal is always to catch up to myself 5 years in the future. And then when I get there, I'll again go for 5 years. And I think so that is how you should be living your life. Like, I think every organization has a 5 to 10 year plan or goal, right?
Yeah.
But do we have one for our own personal life?
Yeah.
Like I doubt we have any paperwork or any infographic that says that, okay, this is my 5-year plan for my own self. But then I think so once I started writing down what I want, like tomorrow, what I want in a week, what I want in a month, a year, in 5 years, 10 years. And as you keep writing, the more hazy it's going to get. Because I don't think so we as humans have the vision to tell exactly what's going to happen 30 years in the future.
It's Elon Musk.
Unless, or because life is very short, right? Like
Yeah.
like you might not be here tomorrow, like I might not be here tomorrow, anything can happen to us.
Yeah.
But I think so, think big and start small. And you can think about that in terms of working out also. Mostly men start off by saying that I will have like washboard abs for the beach by this summer. So that's probably a very unrealistic goal you've set for yourself with a very faulty timeline. Instead, think about like, what do you want? Our lifespans are increasing, but our health span depends totally on us, like how healthy you're going to be at the age of 60 or 70.
Yeah.
So probably think about that, like have a very big goal that you probably want to carry your great grandchild in your arms. Like you want to have that sort of a dream that you are able to run with them or probably play with them. And then you start going to the gym, like the national, there are physical activity guidelines set out even by Australia where it says you need 2 to 3 days of strength training, and then you need at least 10,000 steps every day. So if you keep doing that for a regular period, like if you do that consistently, that is starting small, right? Think big, but start really small. That's how probably you live your life.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks, Mohit. And a bit of Viktor Frankl in there too. You know, that's something to live for.
Yes.
You know, it can get you through hard times. It can get you to your goals and a happy life at the end of the day, right?
There's a quote from the book that I actually told my wife that I'm going to like put it on the wall, and she said no, so we didn't put it on the wall.
Now, what is it?
So as soon as you start reading the book, in that there is a quote where he says that the person whose self-esteem is dependent on the validation of others is emotionally destroyed. And
So repeat that again.
so the person whose self-esteem is dependent on the validation of others is emotionally destroyed. So in the book, he goes on to say that the people who died first in the concentration camps were the people who attached their self-worth to their degrees and the materialistic things that they had in life. And the first thing that the soldiers did was burn those things. So now they had no self-worth in their mind. But then the people who had something to look forward to in life, where they had like other goals or other dreams, they are the people who actually survived. And hence he went on to write that book, being a psychologist himself.
There's a thread of stoicism in that as well, isn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think he does mention stoicism because logotherapy, he came up with logotherapy. Logos is a word that's taken from Stoic philosophers.
Is that actually, I said the last thing, but did you mention about 3 things? And I think that really relates to everyone because we all come from different economical countries and everything, and life for some people is very different. That you got sometimes actually looking for purpose is a luxury on its own. And I think you mentioned this to me. There's always 3 different stages in life: to survive, to matter, and to belong. To belong and to matter. So, me coming from India, I didn't even had any purpose. Like, there's nothing, no vision for me. Like, surviving is the only thing matters at that time.
Yep.
And then now I'm in a position where I belong, but I'm trying to matter. Like, I'm trying to move into another phase. And I always appreciate people who are probably stuck the whole life just to survive. And I'm thankful that I'm actually moved on to the second and the third phases, like, in the order of to survive, to belong, to matter. So I'm thinking I'm probably in the middle of belonging and to matter more, more than me. That's another reality as well. I just want to put it out there because it's not everyone can go out and look for a purpose, because the financial, the circumstances, the economic conditions doesn't give them a chance to do anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
You don't have a roof over your head. You don't have 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
You're not going to be thinking about anything else, right?
That's it. Like, No, I just want to put it out there as well, because depending on who wants to see this message, whatever, like, it is important to acknowledge there might be some people stuck in to survive, and that could be the whole life. That's okay too. And that's the life. Yeah.
They could have hope. They could have.
100%.
They're on that journey.
Yes. But if you got the economic conditions or the environment around you to get your life to the next phase, happy days, lucky. But I know a lot of people who are stuck there. Actually, like my dad, as an example, he was almost to survive. Like, he's nearly 70 now. All his life is just to survive. He never had a chance to go beyond that. So yeah.
And I think so, going back to what I said previously, I think so, and hence, right, like, I actually love recommending books to people and asking them to read, because we live our life based on the information that we have.
Yeah.
And I think so, the level of thinking you were at when the problem happened is not going to help you solve that problem. You need to, like, change that thinking, and that is when something happens. And I think so, I don't remember which book it was, but it said that like, poverty is a condition, but poor is a mindset. And then I think so. I think if you like, if you want to actually do it, you will, like, find a way. Otherwise,
No. There is. Like, I think there's a lot of examples in that journey as well. But yes, no.
But then, hence, right, like, you are thinking about, like, your dad, but you made sure that you do well for yourself. So you learned a lesson from that. And similarly with me, I think so, I learned a lot of lessons from my parents' journey. And I'm making sure that I have, like, big goals and dreams in life, and then automatically your life on a very holistic level starts improving.
Very good. Well, Mahit, one last question. It's one, that you're probably not expecting. What's your perfect weekend? What does that look like?
Oh, okay. I think so, I aim for a very simple life. I would love to have a house on the beach. My wife wants to live in Adelaide, so I think it's going to be in Adelaide.
Has she lived in Melbourne before, or was this the first time?
This is the first time.
Oh, she doesn't know Melbourne yet.
And then, yes, I would love to get up and read uninterrupted, not worry about work, not worry about like, I need to do this, I need to do that. Then probably sit down and start researching or research the book that I want to write. And I think so, in my ideal weekend, I also think about my wife and I having a family, like having a family, spending time with kids, going out, talking to people over coffee catch-ups, learning about them, learning about their journey. And then again, in the afternoon or anytime, like going to the gym, working out, running. I'm currently reading a book called Born to Run, and that's totally changed my perception on running. I do run a lot when I play sport, but then this is, like, intentionally, like, running. And I love to take care of the house. I love to, like, cook whenever I have a chance. I would love to do that, cook some good meals, and if possible, go somewhere out with my family over the weekend. And then again, continue researching and writing my book. I think so.
It sounds like a really busy weekend, to be honest with you. But sounds like a beautiful weekend. So Mahit, thanks so much for joining us here today. You got an amazing story, and I appreciate you sharing it, man. So, thank you.
Stephen.
That's a lot of information.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's do dinner.